I recently interviewed Nancy Altman, who's one of the authors of Social Security Works, about the impact that raising the cap on Social Security taxes could have on the solvency of Social Security. And to remind everybody, the way it currently works is the maximum amount of taxable earnings with regard to Social Security tax are for 2015, $118,500. So W-2 employees pay 6.2% of their earnings up to $118,500 in 2015. Employers match another 6.2%. This is a regressive tax, right? The more you make, the less you pay. If you earn twice the cap of $118,500, which would be $237,000, you effectively pay 3.1% of your total income into Social Security, right? 6.2% of the first 118,500, 0% of the second 118,500, averages out to 3.1%. Of course, you also don't receive more benefits when you retire than someone who earns $118,500. But of course, you also have a far greater ability to fund your own retirement. And this is a huge point of discussion in the fight around Social Security. And Democrats have now come out and are pushing back against the Republican plan by saying, let's either raise or eliminate the cap on Social Security taxes. Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont announced that he would propose eliminating the cap for incomes above $250,000. And this is pretty astute politically, Lewis, because by saying you pay the 6.2% up to 118,500, nothing between 118 and 250, and above 250 the tax comes back in. And this is a very interesting way when the middle class is defined as up to $250,000 a year. The change Bernie Sanders is proposing would not increase the tax burden on the middle class.
Well, it depends on how you define the middle class.
Yes, defined as income up to 250K.
Right. I mean, there are many ways to do this. You could just come up with a different type of scale and at different intervals. But yeah, I mean, I guess in theory, I support this idea.
And the cap does exist for reasons that at least logically make some sense. Some policy experts said that Social Security benefits are paid out at least in part based on how much you've paid in. And if there were no cap, yes, we would be collecting way more money from people earning over $118,500. But at the same time, the multimillionaires and the billionaires would be accruing huge social security benefits by the time they retired. But maybe that's okay, because if you consider they pay in more, they get more out. But during their working years, we have compound interest accruing on that significantly bigger pot of money that would then be able to keep the entire system solvent for a longer period of time. It's an interesting concept to explore, although we know that because of who has the money and how power is connected to that money, it's unlikely we would see a total repeal of that cap.
Yeah, in general, many economists believe that the way we solve most of our fiscal problems is to tax the rich in a multitude of ways. And I think that this is an important one.
I wonder if Republicans would be okay with a change that would still make this a regressive tax, but go higher. So for example, maybe the cap stays at $118,500, but then from $118,500 to $318,500, you still pay 4.2% instead of 6.2%. It would still be regressive, but it would certainly extend the amount of money that is being taken in. I assume most Republicans would still be opposed to that.
Probably, and also the people who have the most ability to fight you on this are the richest people, and of course those the richest of the rich still are going to be paying a lot more than those just making 300-something thousand.